Hello and welcome to November's Gardening Advice here at the Old Railway Line Garden Centre. The weather is cooling now. We're in our fleeces, and also we've got here at the Garden Centre at the end of the month the imminent arrival of Santa and his reindeers. So there is a lot going on here at the Garden Centre, especially towards the end of the month. Just check the website for all the details, and all the events are on there. But Keith, over to you. So in the garden, Keith, November, what are we looking at?
Lots to do.
Lots to do.
People think, we're getting towards the winter now, very little to do. But actually, there's loads to do in November, and you'd be surprised if I didn't say that.
Well, there's loads to do every month.
Yeah, but despite what people think, November's a good planting month. As long as it keeps reasonably mild, and the ground doesn't dry out, there's not much chance of that. So it's a great planting month for lots of things. We talked about bulbs before. November really is the best time to plant tulips and hyacinths. They do better if they're planted when it's gone a bit cooler. But you can still plant the other bulbs. They might flower a little bit later than they would normally, and they might need a bit of help next year with some feeding to build up the bulbs for the following year. But it's still time to plant bulbs. And as you can see behind me, there's lots of plants that are still looking really good. Trees, shrubs, perennials, alpines. Good time to plant those. Good time to look around and see what's in good colour at the moment. Lots of autumn colour, and you can add those sorts of plants to the garden just to fill some gaps and give you some different colours in the autumn.
Oh, brilliant! And so, is there anything else now people should be doing in the garden? What is the main task for all this month?
Well, I think looking at the perennials, which we talked about last month, have done really well. But sometimes clumps of perennials like asters just get rather congested and perhaps don't flower very well. So this is not a bad time to lift the whole clump, cut them down to about 6 inches, just leaves a bit of growth to protect the crown, divide them up, replant them in an improved soil with some organic matter. That's a bit of bone meal, and they'll make some root through the winter and be ready for next year and give you a better show next year. If you're working on wet ground, heavy soils, perhaps that could be left in the spring, but it's worth dividing now and again these big clumps of herbaceous perennials. They just perform better in the next year.
And I know at home with me, I was out in the garden the other day and walking through where we've got the apple trees, the ground is absolutely littered with leaves. So one of the big tasks obviously this month is a bit of a tidy up. Yeah,
I'm delighted you're getting into the garden, Matthew. This is great. If I see leaves on the beds and borders, I'm not worried about that, because the worms will drag them into the soil and they'll be incorporated and they'll do a lot of good to the soil. But if they're lying on top of other plants, and smaller plants, particularly big leaves, then they do need to be moved. And as we said before, use them, get them into a leaf bin or a black bag, let them rot down over the next year, and you've got good leaf mould to use this time next year.
So it's all about forward planning and sort of preparing what you're going to need.
It is rocket science, it really is. Forward planning in all walks of life, but gardening especially.
That's brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Keith.